So Angels and Demons also came out this week, and that is the sequel, although the book was a prequel to Da Vinci Code. It's a sequel to the movie Da Vinci Code that starred Tom Hanks and was directed by Ron Howard. Angels and Demons also is that. And it basically follows...
It is that.
Robert Langdon, the same character, who...
That'd be weird if Tom Hanks came back and played a different character this time.
Who's actually Veronica...
There's something there.
He's Veronica Mars in the same
Okay. So Angels and Demons follows Robert Langdon and basically the Vatican, the Pope...
Are you going to try to explain this?
I don't know. He dies and they got to replace the Pope, and then he's called in because the Illuminati has resurfaced and they think there's a big conspiracy, and he's tracking it down throughout Rome. I wasn't saying globally, but really it's not. It's really just Rome.
It takes place in one day.
City. Yeah.
So
we all read the book, right?
Yeah.
I actually didn't read Angels and Demons. I read the Da Vinci Code. Da Vinci Code was big before I saw the film, and everyone always said, you gotta read it, it's better. And I never got around. I was reading all kinds of stuff at that time, and I never got around to it.
Well, what did you think of the movie?
It's interesting because like I said, had read Da Vinci right before seeing Da Vinci because it was that height of all that stuff.
Yeah. Right.
And I actually moved on to read Shutter Island, which is coming out soon. I'll talk about that in an upcoming episode, I'm sure. But I feel very similarly about this film that I did to the film of Da Vinci Code, even though I didn't read the book. I feel like it's a very competent thriller. It is streamlined and fun and interesting and smart and doesn't insult my intelligence, but the talent involved is way over what is necessary here. These are pulp stories that are really great to read, but don't really make for movies that are worth putting Tom Hanks in, for example. I don't need to see Tom Hanks just give exposition for an hour and a half, which is his job in these movies. What's great about the books is that they're so dense and they're full of such interesting facts, and you get to read that, and it doesn't matter how long it takes or how far off the action we get to explain it because we're reading a book. But in a movie, we have to endlessly explain. They do a great job of making that go and keep the thing moving, and there's some fun action set pieces and stuff. But really, there's no reason for Tom Hanks to be in this movie. You know, it's I hate to say it's beneath him, but it kind of is. You know, I had fun with it. It's just not.
Interesting. I think I liked it a little bit more than you. But not tons more. I mean, I think that it is a very, as you said, and I think said it correctly, it's a very serviceable thriller. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's nothing really broken about it. That said, it actually made me kind of go, oh, maybe the book is a little bit very linear and boring. Because the story is just so like, here's the things we have to do. All right, let's get to it. All right. That was fun, wasn't it? When we did the stuff that we said we were going to do? Yeah, that was actually pretty fun. And then a little twist, If you've read the book, though, I'm going to say, I think it was actually a little bit disappointing because the Da Vinci Code was sort of more about the philosophical ramifications of the twist.
Sure.
This movie is a twist for twist's sake, and so or the ending is just the ending for the ending of a good book. You know what I mean?
A good mystery.
A good mystery. Oh, really interesting. You know, and so I felt like knowing that made the end of the when the end of the movie started coming through, I was like, oh, okay, right, interesting, okay, and then I was sort of shocked with the amount of money that they had to clearly make this movie.
Visual effects.
Why it was part Sky Captain and the Sword of Tomorrow. It was so much of it was shot on green. I would rather them show a sort of like stage representation of what the inside of the Vatican looks like than look how big this is. This is what it's really like, people. But of course they wouldn't let us shoot in there, so we're just gonna slam somebody on a green screen running, and it felt weird.
I agree with both of you guys, other than the fact that I thought this movie failed in almost every way it could have.
Oh, really? Did you have any fun?
So I didn't have any fun.
That does happen.
I can say that. I can say I did not have any fun. But I think, it's not. I think that, you know, like movies like The Bourne, you could the quality filmmakers could have elevated it. But I will say, this is a book I read, and I did prefer to the Da Vinci Code. I thought it was a great book, and it's possible that, for every reason you said, reading this stuff is really enjoyable.
Yeah.
But seeing two people on a screen saying facts to each other, it's just exposition. The movie felt like 8-year-old. I don't know if you guys remember the
8-year-old
Mother's Day episode where my mom said, when I get out of a movie, all I would do was just describe the entire movie to her.
Yeah.
This movie felt like if 8-year-old Dan was reciting, telling my mom everything that happened in the book. And then they go to here, and then it's really cool because they go to this thing, and then that thing, and that's what the movie is. It just sort of rushes through things. There's never, I mean, what makes a good thriller
there was some
is
genuinely funny
either
moments
clever. I actually didn't find much funny or witty, and I remember feeling that way about the book.
You asked me to be here.
Right, exactly. But the way that they get out, what's fun about thriller is the clever way that they get out of situations. There was none of that in this movie. The only other way you can have a tense scene in a thriller is by the hierarchy of knowledge, by knowing something the characters don't and hoping they figure it out. And there was none of that in this movie. Yeah. There was no way that I could feel tense or thrilled by anything in this movie. It just sort of happened in front of my eyes.
You should get your.
Let me say one thing. It's a little bit of a tangent, but much to my wonderful surprise, there's an actor in this movie by the name of Dave Pasquesi. He plays a kind of a side role.
That reminded me of something to say. Who's the guy?
He plays one of the guy
cops.
who first comes and meets.
Well, you know him, right? He was in. Wait.
He is one of the most incredible performers I have ever seen.
The guy who met him in the swimming pool at Harvard. He's amazing.
In this movie he doesn't really.
No, but
do what he does. But he's one of the most inventive,
note.
creative live performers that I have ever seen. And if you ever have a chance to see him live do improv, there's actually a documentary film that was in South by Southwest that we didn't get a chance to see.
Oh.
That's called
That's why I know the name.
Trust Us, This Is All Made Up. I can't wait to see it. But I got to see Adsit and Pasquesi, Scott Adsit, who's on 30 Rock now.
Yeah.
And Pasquesi has another partner that he does things with that is, it's just two guys on stage for an hour and making it all up with no pre-planning, and it is the most phenomenal thing you will ever see. And I was so happy to see him getting work and
then immediately let down when.
Well, I mean, he got paid.
Yeah.
So
and was in that movie.
I don't think the movie.
So the other thing I wanted to bring up real quick, and then we'll wrap up. But it was I am okay with Ron Howard putting his dad in movies. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
When his dad plays a part that isn't distracting in any way, maybe he's the dad in something, or the grandfather who's sort of wondering
Well,
if
I
he'll
think
come
he was
down.
an actor before Ron Howard was putting him. I mean, he was an accomplished actor.
Sure.
It's not like
that's all cool.
Yeah.
He's not that anymore. Now he's Ron Howard's dad. I wonder where he's going to pop up in the movies. So when
That's
you
how his
put
brother
him,
used to be.
right, which is great, and I love it, and I love seeing him when he's the priest in some sort of weird slapstick comedy moment. Whatever it is, that's cool. But to put him as a cardinal that is literally standing over the shoulder of can't remember the guy from Shine, who's
Armin
unbelievable. Unbelievable. One of the best actors in the world right now. Over his shoulder, when super dramatic scenes are happening, it's fucking comical. It's pan back, Ron Howard's dad in a cardinal hat.
It didn't bother me. I didn't even notice.
Oh my god, it floored me. So keep putting him in the movies because I love it, but just maybe not right behind the guy who's giving the speech of speeches. Anyway.
Interesting. One thing I do like about Ron Howard is his range. That he completely does new genre, new genre, new genre, new genre, new genre.
Yeah.
All right.